properties than you could probably count. Next we have Roger Silvera. Okay. Now let's see. Roger is recognized and sought-after speaker, trainer, and financial professional. His powerful talks have inspired crowds in Atlanta, Denver, and in Tampa Bay as well. He's originally from New York City and knows the value of obviously hard work, dedication to his craft, and making others first. He has been mentored by the best in the financial services industry and comes to you with his vast knowledge base. So give it up for Roger Silvera.
How we doing, fellas? How we doing? Oh, you guys can do better than that, guys. Come on, man. No, it's like, what? It's, okay, it's 6:45. You guys are probably tired. You guys had a long day, right? Long day? How many guys work a job? How many guys like your boss? Be real. Oh, you are your own boss, right? Well, guys, we're going to have some fun. You guys are having fun? You guys enjoying yourself? Are you sure about that? Because y'all like this. Man, well, y'all just shut up and just keep moving, man. Come on. You know, that's the way y'all looking right around. Y'all go like this. Oh, man, come on, man. Wish we go over so we can go to the bar, man. Come on now. We're going to have some fun tonight. You guys are ready? You guys are ready? I can't hear you. Are you ready? There we go. We talked a lot about fear tonight, and we talked a lot about, I guess, anxiety or anything of that nature in relation to money, right? You guys are familiar with Jim Rohn, not the sports guy, but Jim Rohn, so you know what I'm talking about. So I want you guys to really look at personal development as an integral part of who you are, right? It's not just about money in itself. It's really about everything else encompassing it. You wonder why people, when they win the lottery, the next year they're broke? You guys wonder that? Exactly. No different. And you and Will, you and I both know that. We hung around some of those crazy cats before. We understand that. You know why? It's their mental blueprint. A lot of it is due to fear, though. Something inside of them is holding them back from what their true potential is. So I'm wanting to read some quotes before I get started here. It says, self-preservation has a tendency to lead to poverty. Self-preservation has a tendency to lead to poverty. What do I mean by that? Meaning that if you are, how can I put it? If you're fearful of letting go, right? As Sandy talked about fear of the unknown, things of that nature, right? That's a poverty mindset. Consequently, when somebody gets a windfall of money, they don't know what to do with it. Okay? They're like in mental jail at that point. Yes, it's great that they have the money, but guess what? They're in mental jail because they haven't conditioned themselves to handle it. Consequently, even like an athlete, right? They don't know what to do with it. How many people know Antoine Walker? People like that, you know, basketball player. Flat broke. Allen Iverson, perfect example. Had all the talent in the world. Flat broke. And it's a shame because look at Mike Tyson as an example. Another example. Why? Because the conditioning was wrong. All off. No one taught them from an early age how to handle money from a grassroots level. Not from a large level, from a grassroots level. How to account for it. I'm going to teach you guys tonight a system that I use, that I coach with clients called the JAR system. And if you guys have ever wondered how to really take money and really distribute it properly, you're going to find out tonight. Is that cool? One of the reasons many people don't have what they want is neglect. Neglect starts out as an infection and then develops into a disease. Neglect. They neglect their finances. They neglect their health. They neglect their spouse. Their well-being is off. Again, it's all conditioning, guys. How are we conditioned as a human being? How are we conditioned as a mother, as a father, as a husband, as a wife? How are we conditioned in these formats And then especially how are we conditioned with money? Okay? So that leads me into the financial blueprint. Okay? How many guys are familiar with T. Harv Eker? One thing I want to make sure that you guys walk away from, because to be quite frank, I'm not, saying this to be disparaging, but that's sad. I want you guys to really walk away tonight with knowing some really things that really can help you from a personal development perspective, meaning that some resource tools, right? Right? T. Harv Eker is one of the best resources and resource tools that you can have. Okay? Secret of the Millionaire Mind Intensive. If you guys don't know what that is, Google it. Go attend one of those events, right? I'm going to talk about the financial blueprint here. If you guys can see this, let's kind of touch on that. So the only way to permanent change, right? How many guys ever knew that Donald Trump was, he lost all his money one time, right? Why did he get it back in 2 years plus whatever amount of millions that he made after that? Why do you think he got it back so quickly? Because his thermostat was set as a billionaire, right? A lot of people don't have that millionaire mindset. A lot of us subconsciously talk ourselves way out of the game. Rich people suck, right? If I got wealthy, I'm afraid to blow it all. You guys have heard of this, right? It's not uncommon, right? Make sense? So if you find yourself talking like that, stop yourself. I want you guys to write down some of the things that you really feel that you think about or really have inside of your heart about money. Because you know how people will subconsciously say money's the root of money's the cause of all evil, whatever the case may be, right? Well, obviously we know it's the love of money, right? Obviously a lot of people are chasing money, right? And then when you wonder why money eludes them, right? It's because you're chasing it, right? We never learned how to attract it, all right? We never learned how to condition our mind to attract wealth, right? Always constantly on the hustle, always constantly on the grind. But guess what? We never got wealthy. Or we have people in our lives that we looked up to that they never got wealthy, right? So as a result, we got that conditioning in our mind too, right? The one thing I want to make sure of is that if my future family, right, my future wife and future kids, they never have to look outside of the door for a role model. And that's including financially. Because I want to make sure that the things that I tell them are indicative of the way they want to live. Because guess what? Kids are kids, right? Kids will look outside and look at the videos, right? They'll look at things of that nature, right? But guess what? If you're not setting the example up front, guess who's losing? Right? So we got to play the game the correct way. And it's all talking about the financial blueprint. So if you look over here, it says the only way to permanently change the temperature in the room is to reset the thermostat. Okay? In the same way, the only way to change your level of financial success permanently is to reset your financial thermostat. No different from how we would set the thermostat here. That's why Donald Trump got his money back in about 2 years plus a whole lot more. Because if a wealthy person loses their money just like that, guess what? They can recoup it right back. How many wealthy people you know, Will, that have lost it all and got it back? Right? Plenty of people. But there's also people out there that have lost it and have never got it back. Why? Because their conditioning was poor from the get-go. So I want you guys to understand, this is excerpts from The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I want you guys to get the book. Because you owe it to yourself to really study from people that have actually been there and done it. All right? Go to the Millionaire Mind Intensive. Go get the education. Go get the training. Get conditioned first. Because all the stuff that I'm about to tell you here doesn't make a hell of a difference if this is not right. Does this make sense? You guys follow me? Okay? So, here's what we want to do. Guys, there's 5 fundamental lessons. You guys want to write this down. 5 fundamental lessons for creating wealth. First and foremost, we want to have an established income, an ever-expanding income. What do I mean by that? Meaning that our income should be going up year after year after year. Why? Because there's inflation, right? There's taxes, right? There's things that could take away our money, right? So it's constantly on this wheel, right? Constantly on this wheel. If your income is not going up, guess what? Your expenses are going up. And it's like this. You guys know the feeling, right? 15th of the month. Choking. Because there's no money left. Right? Trust me, I've been there. I've been in that situation. It's not pretty. I wish that on no man. Right? No man. To have that situation where at the 15th of the month, you running out of money. Every single month. It's not cute. So we want to have an ever-expanding income. Right? And that could mean through businesses. That could mean utilizing your talents and skills. Right? We all have different talents and skills in this room. But the thing is, have you learned how to monetize those skills and talents and turn it into a business? Like Sandy said, be resourceful. Right? She was resourceful because she found a business model that worked for her. But she already had that inside of her from the beginning, right? It was conditioning that she had in the beginning no matter what. Even though she was struggling, she still had the conditioning. That's why she's successful. Same thing with Jen. Right? That doesn't leave you guys. If you already have it, you have it. Right? The key is cultivating that. Right? Because people ask me, well, Roger, I have this idea. I don't know how to get it off the ground. Research. Do your thing. Find ways. There's plenty of ways to make money. What you got to have is an ever-expanding income. The second thing you got to have is a plan that makes sense under all conditions. If tax rates go up, if inflation goes up, okay, if you got sued, if a creditor came after you, your money is protected and your money is continuing to grow. And you can enjoy it, right? Because how many people like to go shopping, right? How many people love to go traveling? I know I do. So that leads me into what they call the JAR system. This is really where you want to take notes, okay? Because this right here can set you free. Seriously, it can set you free. Basically, what we have is a system of different accounts. So one of the things I see a lot of is people have one account or 2 accounts. They have checking and savings. And let's say they have a business. They're paying their business expenses from their personal account. It's mind-boggling. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to have a true system. Okay? Now, I didn't invent this. I can't take credit for it, but this is something that I truly believe in, and it strictly helped me out. Just 5 years ago, guys, I got into, and Will and I have known each other for years. Just 5 years ago, I got myself into a hell of a lot of credit card debt. Why? Because I was living way beyond my means. We talked about living within your means, talking about being able to afford things, being truthful with yourself. Is that right? Right? So the key is having the know-how, right, the knowledge, but then applying it here. So this is the personal side. I'm going to talk about the business side here in a second, because how many business owners do we have in the room? Right? I'm going to talk about the business side here in a second. So here's the personal side. Number one, you have a necessity account. Pay your bills from, right? Now that says 55%. That can be tweaked. I would say about 40% of your personal income, because based on your budget, based on your expenses, things like that, you have an idea of what your expenses are each and every month, right? Is that right? If you don't, we need to talk. Real talk, because about 40% should be going into your necessity account. So income flows. Goes into the necessity account. Now, what happens after that? It gets dispersed after that. So, if you look at the play account, it's exactly what it is. It's a play account. Okay? If you guys want to go to Miami and go to Fontainebleau and go party hard, that's where it comes from. It doesn't come from anywhere else. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But you're saving about 10% of your gross income into that account. Okay? Now this is huge. Financial freedom account, or what I call the wealth coordination account. This is basically an account to where it's basically like your golden goose. So let me kind of read it here. This jar is your ticket to financial freedom. It's the money that you put inside, used for investments and building your passive income streams. Okay? There's three types of income streams. There's active, there's leveraged, and there's passive. Active is working a job. Or if you're self-employed like myself, you're directly involved in the business, and you're the rainmaker. Make sense? Leveraged, okay, is like a network marketing professional, okay, that their organization is producing income because they're getting customers and partners. That's the leverage income stream. A passive income stream is selling a book on eBay and getting a royalty. But what happens is that people go focus on the passive income stream and let the active go. Wrong deal. Don't do that. You guys got to focus on the bread and butter first and then branch off. Does that make sense? So the financial freedom account is going to be where you set aside monies. You never spend this money, by the way. Okay? This is the only time that you should be diligent in putting money away consistently without touching it. Right? It's strategically positioned. Right? Now, let me keep going over here. Got an education account, okay? Things like the Millionaire Mind Intensive, right? Things like maybe we know about, chiropractic and whatever case may be, you know that you have different continuing education, things of that nature. Setting aside money for that, right? But that's where that money goes. It doesn't go anywhere else, and you're not pulling out of any other account for just because of that, right? Long-term saving for spending, okay? You guys want to have major purchases, okay? Like a car, all right? A home, okay? Major purchases for that matter, that's where that goes, okay? And it's basically like a cash reserve that you keep, but you keep replenishing it, okay? The whole theme I want you guys to understand is that money is never to be hoarded. It's never to be stuck, okay? How you think real estate professionals get wealthy? It's because they understand velocity of money. They understand how money works in concert. So Sandy can go out and flip a property, take that interest, and now go out and flip it to another property, right? It's called velocity of money. It's called leveraged money, right? That's how the wealthy get wealthy. Extremely wealthy, okay? Because they understand the concept. The banks and the corporations have been doing it for years, right? You go to a bank, right? You go to get a car loan, 6%, right? They charge, and then they flip it around. They charge another guy 5% on an equity line of credit. They flip that around. They go and do the same thing, and it's a perpetual cycle that yields about 30 to 40% in a given quarter for an economic cycle for a bank. That's why they get flat out wealthy. And the thing is, they invest their money conservatively. Does this make sense? Right? They invest their money conservatively. They're not going out there and taking risks. Warren Buffett said the key to rule in investing is, number one, never lose money, and then number two, go back to the first rule. And he was right. Because we want to play around with our money. We want to go out and invest in something that's sexy, right? But we don't know what the hell we're doing. Why do you think people that worked in, let's just say, for example, at Enron, perfect example. You guys know Enron, right? Well, Enron, they required that their people put a large percentage of that money into corporate stock. Well, guess what happened to Enron? And guess what happened to their 401k? They had no other recourse whatsoever because they were never taught. They were never conditioned right? They were never taught this, right? Because they were taught, I've got to put money in my it's like basically telling a baby what to do, and that's all the baby knows. Okay, but never stepping out and really getting the true answers. Does that make sense? Okay, the give account. Basically, if you are, actually, you should call it a charitable account because basically, if you give to charity or even your church, okay, 5%, roughly about 5% of your income should be going there. Okay, for all my business owners, on my business owners, right? There's a difference between business revenue and personal income, okay? So a traditional business might do $1 million in net revenue, right? That's not their income. Oh my God, I'm balling. I've got $1 million in the damn bank. Whew, I'm excited. Wrong, because maybe your expenses might be $400,000. So after that, your net is $600,000, right? But you're taking a distribution as from personal income off of that $600,000, and that might be just $80,000 a year to live off of, right? That $80,000 is what you should be doing here. Does that make sense? So if you have a business, here's a great way to look at JARS from a business perspective. Number one, you have an operations account. It's kind of like putting yourself on payroll, right? So you put yourself on payroll because you're an employee of your own company, right? You are the CEO of your personal services corporation, right? So you put yourself on payroll and you pay yourself a distribution. And that distribution gets divvied up like this, okay? About 40% or so of your income, your business revenue, let me make sure that's clear. Your business revenue should be allocated in your operations account, right? You go to pay employees, right? Things of that nature, right? Marketing, about 20%, right? If you take trips for conventions and things of that nature for education, travel account, okay? All right? Maybe a gifting account, taxes, right? How many people get screwed over at the end of the year because they don't have the money necessary to pay the tax man? All right? They're screwed at the end of the year. They've made a whole lot of money, but they ain't got nothing to show for it because they blew it all. Well, this right here will prevent that. All right? Does this make sense, guys? Okay? This is practicality, guys. This is stuff that you can use right away, immediately, and put into your life, right? So for the time that I have left, I want to kind of touch on the process that we use, okay? When I sit down with a client, number one, they have a desire to increase their financial life, okay? They desire to have long-term wealth. They have a desire to create retirement income. They have a desire to reduce their financial costs and risk and all those other things that are on that board. Okay? They have a desire to be financially free. But here's the problem, though, right? The problem is, let me go back here. The problem is, we make financial decisions one at a time, at different times, with different people, under different circumstances. My insurance guy got me this, or my property and casualty guy got me this, or my investment guy got me this, or my real estate professional got me this. So nothing ever works in concert. It's all a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I call it the junk drawer syndrome, right? You know a junk drawer in a house? You ever seen a junk drawer in the house? You have a junk drawer in your house. I know that. Everyone tell him that he has a junk drawer in his house. Good Lord have mercy. God's sakes. I'm just playing. No, but you have a junk drawer in your house. And it's messy. And you haven't seen nothing for years in there. Oh my God, I have change and all this other stuff. I haven't seen none of that in years. You go to pull out a plier and you have something else over here. It's whatever. Right? But that's what most people look like in planning normally. Right? They have all this stuff. That's why when people go to a CPA, they have the shoebox, right? Here, doc, take my shoebox, right? It's bull. Because the CPA looking at you like, really? You expect me to go through this stuff? Really? So what they want you to do is doing exactly what I share with you in doing the JARS, right? Because when you take that bank statement and you show them, this is what I spent in operations. This is all my expenses for operations in my business. You know how helpful that is to a CPA? It's very helpful. Make sense? Okay? So this is what the problem is. The problem is that it's disorganized, uncoordinated, it's inefficient, and it doesn't work. And guess why? When people reach age 65, the majority of people that reach 65 are dead broke or dead. Right? Because number one, they never earned enough income in their life, and even if they did, they blew it because they never had a system like this. Okay? So here are the rules of the game. Okay? We're playing financial monopoly, right? Number one, they want the banks, okay? They want us to give them our money. Number two, they want it on an ongoing basis. They want it for as long as possible, and they will give us little to no money back. Sound about right? Right? That's what a bank does, right? They want our money, right? They're knocking down the door for our money, right? They want it on an ongoing basis. Man, we want all your stuff. We want your investments. We want everything. We want it, and we want it for years, right? As long as possible, but you know what? We're just going to give you maybe 1.5 points on that money market account. Not even that. Maybe half a point, right? CDs probably paying about maybe a point right now. Okay, so these are the rules of the money game. Okay? Let's see here. So here's what takes away at your money. Okay? Here's what takes away at your money. You guys ever wondered this? This is really an eye-opener. So money just isn't a number. Okay? So even if you got $10 in your pocket, it's not just $10. It's the inflation that is on that $10. $10 in your pocket tomorrow is not worth $10, right? So you have inflation. You got taxes. You got law changes, right? Tax law changes, right? You've got technological change. You got fees and consumer financing. You got wear and tear. Your car breaks down, right? You got increased standard of living. Good Lord have mercy. It's expensive to live out here, right? Market fluctuation. Damn it, my 401k went down 20%. Unexpected life events. Good Lord, somebody died. Or had a baby, or whatever the case may be, right? Lawsuits. Somebody always getting sued in this country, right? This is right here what people are faced with, right? This is what people are faced with, right? So money's not math, and math is not money. So meaning that money is a commodity, right? So we got to treat it as such, right? So how we look at it is there's a process, okay? There's a game board. So we have to have a game board to really gauge your financial decisions, right? Again, you have your junk drawer and you have your game board. And you can strategically make moves on a game board, right? You guys have played Monopoly, you guys have maybe probably, or whatever game board, and you say, man, no one can stop me because I know the rules of the game and I know where to place pieces strategically. When you're that confident, especially in this, no one can stop you because there's not a bank, there's not a corporation, there's not nobody else that could tell you what's right, right? But here's the thing, the problem why people are hoodwinked and bamboozled is because they don't know. They don't know. And we want to get them out of that mindset of not knowing, right? Because it's either a lack of information or a lack of discipline. Make sense? So the thing is we want to have, we want to be the macro manager. We want to look at things holistically. We want to look at your life as a way to make decisions all across the board. Protection, you have savings, and you have growth, right? Not just, okay, well, I'm working at my job, and my job got my 401k, or I've got an IRA, and that's all I'm thinking about in relation to my money. It's a lot larger than that. Okay? Is this stuff good? You guys following me? So let me go to the rule book, because the rule book is the actual game board. So this is our game board. So you can see here, you have the protection component, and all my protection decisions are made on one sheet of paper. So I know where my car insurance is. I know where my homeowners is. I know if I have disability income protection. I know if I have health insurance. If I'm married, maybe I've got a will and a trust set up. Or if I got life insurance set up, right? Or if I own a business, that's accounted for too, right? So as I go from, in this sense, drawer number 1 to number 9, so you can see the top to number 9, my protection importance grows. I reduce my costs, and I maximize my coverage, right? So my objective here is to reduce my risk, protect my assets, protect my income, and protect my life, right? But I can see that on one sheet of paper. I can't see that when somebody hands me a shoebox, right? This is all my stuff. Can you make sense of this for me? It's a nightmare, right? And there's a lot of successful people that I've dealt with that have been like that, right? I don't know what the hell this is. I'm too busy to look at it. Well, shit. Then you're too busy to get sued, right? You're too busy to lose your money by 30% because your funds are not allocated right? Because it's negligence. If you look at the savings component, right? How much liquidity do we have, right? Because people say, I want to invest in real estate. Great, all right? If you don't have money, then there's other ways to look at it, right? But if you do have liquidity, it helps. It helps if you have liquidity, okay? So there's a measurement there. And then the growth component is really, if I have my tax shelters, right? So if I have tax shelters, how much growth can I get on my money beyond maybe just a simple savings account, right? All this is important to the grand scheme of things, right? But it's a way to measure decisions one at a time, okay? I don't want to spend a whole lot of time because the time I have left, which is about what? Now? Okay. I think the biggest thing is I don't want to move too much forward because I want to make sure that you guys just get this simple concept. Right now what we have is a lot of people that are hurting out there. What Jen and Sandy talked about tonight was a lot of mindset, but giving you guys the understanding that money starts here. It starts between the 6 inches between your ears. It's nothing like this that will get you wealthy. It's this. It's the conditioning. And if you don't have this right, then guess what? Nothing will happen. So what I'm telling you to do is start investing in your education, start investing in your future, start attending events like this on a regular basis that you can start making decisions differently. Does that make sense? You guys enjoyed this tonight? Did we give you value tonight? Are you sure about that? Guys, we quiet, man. We are seriously quiet. I'm trying, guys. Come on, man. Do we seriously get some value tonight? Yes. All right. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. I think it's awesome that we have our Stress and Success 2. And, guys, we are looking forward to doing these many more times, many more places, with many more people just like yourself. We thank you for the opportunity to serve you guys tonight. Don't leave, okay, because we want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to fill out a quick survey. Just let us know, how you thought about the workshop tonight. And then also, for those individuals that are looking to possibly sit down with either one of us on a one-on-one basis. Maybe you have some questions right now that is maybe a little bit personal, right? And you don't want to ask it in an open forum. That's an opportunity for you to sit down with us one-on-one and to be able to answer those questions and see how we can work together. So with that said, God bless. We are wrapped up and we are out.